Yo, let me give it to you right.
All night, no, we ain't never gonna stop. I
Never had it like this before.
no, gotta keep it together.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a real good, a sexual fight.
Give it to you all night, right?
I'ma take you some love and sweet delicious taste. Only you, I'm so gifted. See the light on the waves.
And I swear, him and his guitar player were trying to get me to the after party, but I said, I'm a good girl. I ain't gonna do that. I'm sorry.
She said, I know what's happening there. I'm going to stay home.
You don't know what kind of stuff they gonna do. You know, I might have to whoop up some wind chum. That's so nasty.
Oh, she said her name like she famous and shit. Like we supposed to know who the hell she is already.
Hey, that's how you waving off every.
Oh, she said her name. Go ahead, baby.
Deja Marie.
Oh, she said her name like she famous and shit. Like we supposed to know who the hell she is already.
Down the road. That's when I knew I had it.
Oh, she said her name like she famous and shit. Like we supposed to know who the hell she is already.
Hey, that's how you
Welcome back to From Her Point of View talk show. It's great to see you all here. We are sponsored by I Said It Management. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, please email us at herpointofview@aol.com.
Or if you would like to be a sponsor, also email herpointofview@aol.com.
It's your girl, Deasia Marie. You can follow me on all social media at Deasia Marie. That's DeajaMarie. See you soon.
And it's your girl, Lily the Goddess. You can follow me on all social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, as Lily the Goddess. LeeLeeDaGoddess. Stay in touch.
And we have the beautiful,
the wonderful Rhonda Johnson, aka Wildflower. Thank you for joining us today, lady. Thank you. She is an intuitive astrologer, ladies and gentlemen, who is tuning in. She is a poet, a published author, a Reiki practitioner, sound therapist, and get your life coach. Now I said Reiki, but that is, you could say Reiki. It's the westernized Chinese version. You could also say Reiki. It's the Japanese proper pronunciation. So it's either way. It's kind of like tomato, but you're saying the same thing. So you're all fine. Don't worry about it. You're fine. If you say Reiki, you're good. You say Reiki, still good. So tell us about yourself, lady.
Well, hello. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. My name is Rhonda, but I also go by the name of Wildflower. I started off as Wildflower the poet, and Wildflower the poet evolved into Wildflower the astrologer. So I just am like a wildflower. You know, I grow and go where I choose.
That's amazing. My mom actually calls me her social butterfly. Where can we find you at, though?
You can find me on Facebook as Rhonda Johnson, and you can also find me on Instagram as Wildflower_the_astrologer. And you can also hit me up on my website, and that's www.wildflowertheastrologer.com.
Oh, yes, girl.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I'm excited. I love that you said you're an astrologer. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you're an astrologer? Talk to us.
Well, just a quick brief. What us astrologers feel is that it's a picture of the universe the moment that you were born. Because like most of us, we know our sun sign, you know, we know where the sun was the day that we were born. But a lot of us are so unaware that there's so much more going on in your chart. We have a moon, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto, Neptune sign. We have different parts of this chart that make us up uniquely and individually. And even if you have an identical twin, I have an identical twin. We were born 7 minutes apart, but our charts are so different. And just to see the difference in it, it helps us embrace our unique individuality. And as
I love twins.
yes, I love everything about astrology.
My nieces are twins.
Girl, to my own heart, I love you. I love you. I love you so much. I just want to scream.
This is the perfect guest right now.
So what's your zodiac sign, being on that note? What's your zodiac sign?
Okay, so on that note, I am a Libra sun, a Virgo moon, and an Aries rising.
So you're a Virgo moon?
Yes, I'm a Virgo.
Ooh. Oh, good girl. And then what's your Chinese, you know, your sign?
Yes, I'm a rabbit.
You the bunny? Oh, the hair.
Yes, I'm a bunny. Good. Yes.
Oh,
I think I'm a goat. I was born in 1991. I think I'm a goat.
You the goat. She's that goat. Oh, well, then you gotta introduce yourself. What's your zodiac sign again, Deasia?
Aries. So I'm a ram already. But then, like, when I see my ear, I'm like a goat. What are we doing here? Everything about me is strong, right? What is a goat? But you never know.
A Capricorn. So.
Oh, okay. My little sister is Capricorn. My older sister is a Capricorn, and my dad. So.
Oh, wow.
And that's my best friend.
So y'all are never late.
Capricorn?
Either never or always.
Either like, that. I mean, like, they tend to be on time a lot with the Capricorns.
Oh, okay.
Completely slow. Completely just slow.
Oh my gosh. No. My mama, my uncle, every time, if he got to go someplace and it's got, let's say you got to be there at 5.
Mhm.
He's there at 3.
Mhm.
I said,
But that's a higher vibrating Capricorn because there's
Right.
low vibration of every sign.
yeah, and he's an older generation too, so he's gonna be on time.
Yeah. Different level of
That's what it is. That,
Oh, I wasn't talking about you,
they
Miss
on
Liz. I know
time.
you watching. Because we got Capricorns watching this show too, and they're gonna be like, hey.
They be on time though, for real.
It's
That's
all
one trait I wish I had because I'd be late everywhere. I'd be like the little bunny from what's it called, Alice in Wonderland. Like, I'm late for an important date. I'm not gonna get there.
Yeah, that part. Well, I'm here the
It was
tiger.
important,
I like
but I'm not gonna get there.
She know that though. I like to cuddle. Yes. The sun sign is Sagittarius. My rising is Taurus. And then the moon is cusp between Libra and Virgo. So my Virgo tendencies, I tend to overthink a lot. The Libra tendencies that I have is that I'm always looking for balance. And then my Taurus, I'm stubborn. I got a stubborn bull there somewhere. Thank you, Daddy. I love you. You had to give me a little bit of yourself. And then the rest, the Sag and then the tiger. And it's funny because
don't shoot me. Don't shoot me.
What happened?
Oh, what happened?
I'm a traditional astrologer. So us traditional astrologers do not subscribe to cusp. You are what you are. Like, for example, that we have what we call a degree of orb. It's the wideness, and the moon has the widest degree of orb. It's like a degree of influence, and you can describe it like a source of heat. Like if I have a match, if your hands are right here beside it, you can feel the heat. But if I turn on a heater, you can feel the heat throughout the room. So some planets are only going to have a small degree of orb, but the moon has the biggest. It's going to heat up the whole room. My personal moon is at the end of Virgo. It's at 24 degrees of Virgo. It's only 30 degrees per sign. So some people would be like, oh, it's the cusp of Libra. I'm going to say it is where it is, and it's at 24 degrees of Virgo. So send me your chart, and I'll tell you.
This is exciting.
And somebody just thought, what if you don't have your birth time? The moon, you give a 13-degree grace period. So I can rectify a chart and just pull up a chart real quick. And let's say it is where mine is, about 24 degrees. So it could have backed up, depending on what time of day I was born, it could have backed up to around 21, 22 degrees. Or it could have went all the way up into Libra to about, 7 degrees. So there is a window. So the birth time is very important when it comes to the moon. But the rest of the chart, it is what it is.
Okay. So when you say chart, what do you mean by, like, what do people need to send you for their chart?
Your birthday with time, if you have it, city and state. And it just sends me this pretty picture of you.
So it also matters by where you were born.
The location too. Don't you need the location too?
Yeah, she said city and state.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, city and state. I didn't hear that. Sorry. But you know what? Some people, they don't catch it. And so sometimes, for people who don't understand, and they because there's a lot of them, the moment I even ask people, they're like, oh, you believe in that stuff? And I'm like, yeah. I was like,
right, it's not that stuff. It matters. I feel like it matters a lot. Like, I'm an Aries through and through.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys hear when they tried to say about they were going to change the astrological chart?
Again, traditional astrologer. I studied that.
Yeah. But they also go true or false. True or false. She knows this. Tell them it has to do with the whole. If they want to do that, they're literally talking about like where the stars, because there's a science to it, where they move. If they happen to move, that is for the new calendar. That's for the new babies. That is not us. We are who we are. We are who we are, like you said. If the stars are in a different position, they need to remember that doesn't mean that ours change. We're already here. We're already born.
Yeah, because we do a progressed chart. Like the chart that we were born with is not the chart that's kind of covering us right now. And what you're referring to, I don't want to get too far off and too deep into astrology text stuff, but it's like in Vedic astrology, they calculate everything based off the constellations. In tropical astrology, Western astrology, what we study, it's based off the zodiac signs. The two are different. Like if you put the constellations over the wheel chart, it would flow a little different. So that 13th zodiac Ophiuchus, it's been there. But the traditional astrologers, they didn't recognize Ophiuchus in the way that some of the people are trying to recognize it now. So, I mean, to each his own. And astrology is so vast that there could be so many different opinions and views and things of that nature. So if you rock with Ophiuchus, go ahead. But I just don't acknowledge that particular sign in my
that part. And you know what, we bring that up because you know the funny thing is that a lot of it has to do with why, you know, we take such an interest in our relationships, you know, from her point of view, from our point of view, us ladies, a lot of times we do ask, what's your sign? To men, we ask them, what's their sign? It gives us a little bit of insight, since we are creatures of the heart, as some guys refer us to. We're creatures of the heart. You know, we have also a spiritual connection that's very deep, because we're in tune with certain things that, you know, that others, men would probably call us simply just sensitive, but there's so much more to it. You know, like you said, it's the vast universe, or the universes and galaxies. You know, everything's up there. You know. So how does that? Yeah, how does that compute?
Okay, so before I even get into the answer to the question, I'm gonna say we about to have a lot of fun, but what I'm about to drop on y'all is some valuable stuff. Like some heavy stuff. If I would have known this information when I was younger, when I was like just exploring, there are so many things that I would have avoided. So if you got a pen and pad, go ahead and grab it. Write some stuff down, especially, you know, people who are trying to get to know themselves and trying to get to know their mates. So what I want to talk about is relationship astrology. A lot of people come to me. And what I do in my relationship readings, in the singles reading, I'll talk to you about what your love language is. And for you astrology heads out there, your love language, we're going to first look in your 5th house. That's the fun house. And that's going to tell me what your dating style is. It's going to tell me the type of person that you like, what you like to do, even where to go on a date, like where you might meet someone. So if you got...
I was just going to ask that. Does that all play a part into like relationships and all? Because my last relationship, I was with a Libra, and that's why when you said that, I was like, oh my goodness, because it was the balance for me. Like I don't really do routines or anything. I'm very spontaneous. So like in relationships, I feel like a lot of the times we got into arguments because I kind of would just do my own thing. Like I didn't ever really have like a set plan unless it was work. And
that's like another planet that might be connected to your fun house, to your dating planet. So like if I just go through real quick, if you have Aries in your 5th house, that's going to mean that you're going to want a partner who's kind of sporty, somebody who's not boring. You know, Aries is a fire sign. It likes to go. It likes to experience different things. It likes to, it even like to fight a little bit. So, you know, something just a little out there, but you want to keep up with the Aries. And routine, like you were saying, that's a turnoff. That could be very boring. Someone who's insecure could also be a turnoff for an Aries. If you got Taurus in the 5th house, in your dating house, a Taurus is gonna want to be wined and dine, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. You know, she's ruled by the arts. So going out to eat, wine tasting or something like that would be awesome for a Taurus. And if you are a woman dating a Taurus man, you want to show off your curves. And if I go back to Aries, if you're a woman dating an Aries man, you're going to want to pull your hair back. You're going to want to like...
happen.
Yeah, you kind of want to...
But that's so funny. My kindergarten, like my love from kindergarten to like 6th grade. I was so in love with this man. He was an Aries, and his birthday was 2 days before mine. And I don't think I could ever be with an Aries again. Like I can't.
You ain't know no better. You ain't have a Venus return yet.
Well, yes, Ben. I mean, I wasn't even with him. We were just friends. But like, I know myself, so I don't know if I can do it.
Gotcha. But that would also, like, you would need to know what your rising sign is to kind of zero in on what that dating style for this type of specifics.
Okay.
All right. And so if you got Gemini in your fun house, in your 5th house, Gemini likes to communicate. They like to talk about a whole lot of different things. Like Gemini is a jack of all trades, but don't go too deep. You know, you try to go too deep, then you might lose interest because, again, Gemini likes to talk about a little bit of everything. It's a very fun, loving energy. Like my Mars, my divine masculine is in Gemini. So I just love a chatty, fun, even immature, you know, like I got some shallow placements and I'm okay with that. You know, some things that the poet is in Gemini. So some of those things you really reflect in my own personal chart. And like I said,
it's like a little bit with the Gemini, and also with the Geminis, when you talk to them, you know, you can share so much with them, but there's really no telling or promise how much they're really taking you seriously.
And that's that Gemini could be a little shallow, and that's okay. You know, if everybody is not, those of us who lack water in our chart, I don't have any water in my chart. So that means I'm very non-emotional. I don't need the depth, you know, the reassurance that a lot of people, because I'm have a lot of air in my chart. I'm flighty. I have a lot of fire in my chart. I get bored really quick.
That's where your energy is coming from, because I can see like you have like that. You're radiating this, like I have so much information to share with all with women and with men. And from your point of view, we actually have a question for you. Someone asked a question saying, Wildflower, are men and women different if you do astrology with them? I guess what she's trying to say, like when you do astrology on a man, does it tend to be different than when you do it on a woman?
Yes, definitely. Pretty much you're going to look at a few planets differently. Like in a woman's chart, her divine feminine is going to be Venus. Man has Venus in his chart as well, but he's not going to exhibit those traits. So he's going to look for that in a mate. So if you look at a man's Venus, you can see what type of woman he likes to date. If you look at a man's moon, you can see what type of woman he wants to marry. If you look at a woman's Venus, you're going to see how she carries herself. What type of divine feminine is she? If you look at her moon, you're going to see what type of wife she will become. So when it comes to looking at it from a relationship standpoint, yes, you do look at the chart a little bit different.
And then she has one more question. She says, are men and women more difficult in different areas, even if they are the same sign?
Are men and women more difficult?
So I think I'm going to rephrase her question. I think her question is more like, if they share the same sign, whether it's a man or woman, so let's say a woman, like what you were saying, woman Gemini or a male Gemini, are they more difficult in different ways, you know, even though they share the same sign? Like maybe they like the man will be different. He'll be difficult, but difficult than the female Gemini difficult. She want to know, like, if they share the same sign, how much different are they?
Are men and women different in their signs is what she means, I think.
That's it depends on so much in the chart. Like all Aries are not the same. You know, where is Aries in your chart? Because if Aries is in the 12th house versus in the 1st, 5th, or 9th house, it's a totally different Aries. You're not going to have Aries in the 12th house person is not going to be as outgoing as take charge. You know, they might pray or do martial arts or something, but they're not the same Aries as an Aries in a fire sign. It's just so many different elements. And that depends on male and female. So it just doesn't, that's the in-depth question.
She said, thank you. And so does that mean, I'm sorry, DH, I was going to ask on her behalf also. Does that also mean, like, do people reach out to you in order to kind of like get an idea of what type of mate they need to go after or keep themselves open to receive?
Yes, and especially with the dating tips, like where should I go? Like I keep going to the club and it's not working. You got Cancer in the 5th house. Go to the grocery store. You know, tips like that will help them. And some people have negative so-called or areas of opportunity for growth in their chart, so-called difficult placements, and a lot of that is psychological. And so that's part of my get your life together, get your life coach sessions. It's like we can really go through and dive deep and figure out what are your blocks to opening up for relationships. Yeah.
Do you feel like you use this a lot in your own personal life?
Oh yeah.
Relationships.
This is my superpower. And not just personal relationships. I'll share with y'all. Like once I started astrology because a high school friend read me and my sister's chart. She read it like we were one person, and I was like, So I started to study. And then when I saw the differences in us, I started looking at my children. And me and one of my children, we had some difficulties. Any parent out there with teenagers is gone. You can, yeah. So when I started looking at my child's chart and looking at my chart, it was mirror opposite. Like I said, I'm an Aries rising. She's a Libra rising. I'm a Libra sun. She's an Aries sun. I'm a Virgo moon. She is a Pisces moon. So we clashed. Naturally, we clashed. But I'm the adult in the room. And astrology gave me the power to be able to speak and communicate to my child the way she needed to. Not just I'm the mom who's going to do what I say. So the brain.
We got too much in common, lady. You scaring me. We got too much in common. And you mentioned high school. That was the same time that I was getting into it too. For the sake, and for my reason was because I had a serious problem with bullying. All the boys apparently that you say, oh, a boy likes you is if they bullying you is because they like you. I said, listen here, I don't have time to deal with this boy who just put a spider in my hair. I don't have time to deal with this boy who just put gum in my hair.
Like that's a love language.
Right. Like, what love language is that? Because I don't know.
Exactly. What is that, young man? So I got into it the same time as you, high school.
Well, high school is we all go through a specific transit around high school age, specifically about 40. We have a Mars, our natal Mars, it progresses and it makes a square to the progressed Mars make a square to the natal Mars. So we're at a clash. Mars is our fight. It's our rebellion. Well, not necessarily rebellion, but it's our fight. So we mad at everything at 14. And then anything else that's going on in life makes it even, just tops it off. So that age demographic is just a hard one. But when you don't know what's going on and you just think, oh my God, this child is just crazy, it makes it hard.
You must have stalkers like crazy, lady. I done saw that picture of you with the fro and you sitting on that chair and your
girl, don't nobody know where I live.
It looks fabulous, girl. What you trying to do? You trying to get somebody an early heart attack? What are you doing to those?
Don't nobody know. And I have to say, one of those pictures is not me. One of those pictures is my twin sister.
Oh wow!
I said it.
Y'all PM to marrying people. Y'all out here PM to marrying people.
No, but I'll have to. She's gonna be hysterical behind that. But yeah,
I always said I could never have a twin because I would be getting in so much trouble. My twin would be going everywhere for me. I'd be like, man, just do what I want you to do. Okay?
Girl, taking advantage. Do it.
What else would that be good for?
So what do you tell? Oh, we have another question for you, Miss Wildflower. This lady wants to know, Miss Lizzie. She wants to know, what do you tell partners who are together but they just don't work out?
It's a choice. You can work. Anything can work out. If I have two people in front of me that want to make it work, we can make it work. But there are certain things certain incompatibilities that are just there, and that doesn't make one person good or bad. Once we take the ego out of it, then people can kind of break up a little bit better. Like I'll use my chart for example. I got a lot of air in my chart, so I'm big on communication. I could not date a person who had like a lot of planets in an Earth sign, because they don't talk enough. They don't initiate conversation. You know, I need to be able to verbally exchange words. So if you're not big on conversation, if you're not big on, you know, sharing ideas, then why would I even set myself up for that level of frustration? That doesn't make that person a bad person. It just makes us not compatible.
Yes. And it means it's just time to move on.
Yeah, yeah.
So on that note, we are going to take a little break really quick. We will be right back. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. You can check me out at The Asian Marie on social media. And Miss Lily?
You can check me out on all social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Lily the Goddess. Ciao, everybody. From her point of view, stay tuned for more.
We'll be right back. See you soon, Miss Wildflower.
Hey man, what's that initial voice thriller, man? Shout out to I Said It, the celebrity interview. You dig what I'm talking about, man. Sponsored by
what up? It's Dead Wild. Music exec, music manager, entrepreneur. Yo, shout out to the celebrity interviewer. I Said It, the show.
Hey, what's good, everybody? I am Chicago's own national award-winning spoken word artist, Just Mike the Poet. I'm here to give a shout out to celebrity interviewer I Said It, the Poet.
What's happening? It's your boy Cam Jones, man. Shout out to the celebrity interviewer I Said It show.
Yo, it's the originator Jazzo, y'all. Make this real quick, man. Shout out to I Said It Management. Doing it big.
That's out to you, man. Like, over the years, I see you everywhere, at every major event, covering every major thing, always supporting every artist that you encounter. So, you know, definitely don't want this time to pass without saying thank you for always being a support to any and everybody that's coming in and out of Chicago. We definitely appreciate you.
Tune in. I'll be with the celebrity interviewer I Said It, the Poet, for the I Said It show.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Dean Most Photography giving a big shout out to my main man, celebrity interviewer I Said It, the Poet.
What up, it's your boy Dave Tolliver from the legendary Minute Large, and right now you're checking out the celebrity interviewer I Said It, the show, baby. Yeah, it's all being brought to you by
These are my official sponsors. Shout out to business owner Dolores Green on Facebook, and please go visit her at hairbossbiz.com. You can contact her directly at hairbossbiz@gmail.com. Also, shout out to CEO of MIA Entertainment Group, film, TV, and producer, the legendary Mimi Acosta. Shout out to business owner and podcast host Sophia Latrice. She has a and these are my official sponsors. Shout out to business owner Dolores Green on Facebook, and please go visit her at hairbossbiz.com. You can contact her directly at hairbossbiz@gmail.com. Also, shout out to CEO of MIA Entertainment Group, film, TV, and producer, the legendary Mimi Acosta. Shout out to business owner and podcast host Sophia Latrice. She has a spa in Plainfield, Illinois, and visit her website at lenisialex.com. Shout out to CEO and radio personality Cantone. You can visit his website at streetscienceradio.com. Shout out to author and animation commercial creator Linda Gregory. You can visit her website at lilyb.com. Shout out to business owner, the elite reader and licensed phlebotomist Cherie Patterson. Call her directly at 469-340-6489. And shout out to author with both her audiobook and hard copy novel Through the Eyes of Nitsi, Denise Donnerson. Order her book today on Amazon.
And we are back with more from her point of view.
Hello.
With the Deasia Marie and your girl Lily the Goddess and our wonderful guest Rhonda Johnson, aka Wildflower. Thank you for your presence.
Yes, thank you so
much.
much.
Let's dive into some more.
So I had a couple questions about relationships and how we can deal with them kind of by knowing our signs or getting used to our signs, or I guess more love languages. I would say more love languages. So like when you have someone that you care about and you see them not giving you those things, what would you all say that you like giving you what you want? Like if you want communication or if you want gifts, what would you say is the best approach?
Ask.
Okay, well, okay. Of course, obviously you ask, but like if you ask and then they're not reciprocating, like
then that's when it's time for you to respect their choice to not reciprocate. And you make the choice. A lot of times in relationships, we give the other person so much power. We give away our power in relationships. Like if he does this, then I'll do that. If he cheats, then I'll leave. If you want to go, just go. Why you got to wait on him to do something? We give away our power so many times on so many different levels in relationships. And it's like we want another person to do what we want them to do.
But that person isn't ready yet.
Or they just may not be the gift giving type. Like for example, a Capricorn man may go to work every day and be very diligent with paying the bills and things of that nature and come home and give the money to his spouse. And he's not buying flowers. And she's wanting flowers. He didn't just gave you all the money.
Right.
Flowers.
Right.
It's certain things like we have to pick and choose our battles when it comes to what's important. And if flowers are really important, I would talk to my mate and say, hey, I really do enjoy flowers. And if they choose not to do it after you've said that, then that's when you get to take the power and say, I'll buy myself flowers, or I'm going to find me a mate that does.
And this is all good. Like when you find out like these things in the beginning, like when you're just getting to know the person and you develop that friendship foundation. I know that in a perfect world, a lot of people would do the courting and start out as friends and a lot of people, they jump. It's like 3 months. Everything's all flowers, but not everything has been addressed. So you don't know everything. And then next, boom, people just jump. So, would you agree that people should take a little bit more time?
That depends on their love language. You're a Taurus rising. Taurus is an earth sign, and it's also a fixed sign. So y'all take things very, 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 very slow. You want to be
not when I was younger. I was too quick. I learned
Well,
I learned. I had to
just
learn.
based off your rising sign, I'm no telling where your Venus is. That would give me a little bit more detail. But in general, the Taurus energy is the earth sign. So it's not a fast moving sign. Us fire signs, I know in 2 minutes. Whether
I'm a fire sign, girl. I'm a fire sign. My Sagittarius, I was too fast.
I am an Aries rising. Like, I just know. If it takes me, if I don't feel sparks in a couple of minutes.
Thank you. That's how I feel. I'm an Aries. I feel like I
always
love so hard, so fast.
I
I
mean,
be like,
gotta
this
have
is the one.
That doesn't mean I jump all the way in, but it does let me know whether I even want to take the dive. You know, right. So it's there's stages to it. You know, I'm not just, oh yeah, but I do know if it takes me 3 weeks to know if I like you, I don't like you.
Right. That's too much.
It really is.
I've decided a long time ago.
Yeah, I have a whole lot of fire in my chart. And so us fire signs, we like fire, passion, sparks. Yeah, I ain't sitting there waiting on you to strike that nut by hand.
Yes.
And,
I think that's
I also like to add us knowing our own selves, knowing our love languages before we expect for someone to come and fulfill these needs is really, really important. You know, because a lot of us, we're on a self-discovery journey, which is cool. But, you know, if I don't know I like flowers, it's so much we don't know about ourselves, so much we don't realize, even little pet peeves about others that we don't realize until they're triggered. So getting to know ourselves
takes a minute.
Yeah, it takes a minute. And, you know, taking your time with yourself and a partner is really important. But chemistry is chemistry, and either it's there. Mm-hmm.
Give me just a second, ladies. I have to step away. I will be right back, okay?
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
In the meantime, have you met with a lot of are we taking a break?
No, not a break. I just have to step away.
Oh, okay. Because I think we have a question right here for you, Wildflower. She says, what do you do when relationships seem great in the beginning, but then once they have I think I have to rephrase what she says. I think she's saying, what do you do when relationships seem great in the beginning, but then once they have you, they are not doing the same things they used to. The same things. Does that mean the love language changes all of a sudden after marriage? Okay, so she's saying she wants to know, like, once you're married and then I guess somewhere down the line things are not the same. They stop doing the romantic things that they started doing in the beginning. They stop doing a lot of things that they're not owning a lot of the things they said in the beginning, promises they made, and she wants to know it's going downhill. And if you, in being that, you know, you have a child, because, you know, there's a lot of divorces, and people are divorcing a lot because they hook up and everything seems good in the beginning, but then as it proceeds, it's kind of vanishing. A lot of things are vanishing that were once there. They're no longer there. She wants to know, what do you say in that situation?
Well, again, this is a whole lot going on. If we just simplify it a little bit, let's say we got a couple who's been together for a while, and then all of a sudden they're hitting this patch. It's boring. The chart doesn't stay the same. You know, when two people come together, a chart is created, but it progresses. Just like we have different seasons and the planets keep moving, so does that chart. And so that means that we'll have to adapt. You know, that's where I come in. It's like, okay, y'all having a difficult Saturn transit. It's going to last for this long. These are some tips that you can do to help get you through the transit. But a lot of the people aren't compatible in the first place. They're trying to make it work.
It's true. And some people, you know, that's why we always tell them, anytime that's, because, you know, I think you can agree. You as a person who is intuitive and you help people and you do Reiki, there's also like a counseling service that sort of is taking place too. It's like you don't mean to, but you're like, man, I'm also a counselor. It's like it comes with the territory. It's like you find yourself sort of, you know, counseling them and making them feel better is not just physical therapy. There's a mental, there's the
Yeah.
emotional, which is everything that you represent, because Reiki, you know, what people, they come to you, they get their tuning. So do you do tuning to let's say couples, maybe they're like their energy is off, they have blockages, and so that they can find some middle ground, you do some attuning to them. Do you do that?
Yes. I'm an all around healer. Like, I had to shorten it up to put it on the flyer. I'm a massage therapist. I'm a nurse. I do everything. It's so, and I say I like to talk so much. So counseling is part of what I do. Each reading is the counseling session. Like, I call it something else, but it all comes down to you seeing yourself for who you are and transformation itself. Like, that's also in my chart. I have Pluto conjunct my sun. So Pluto is the planet of transformation. It helps you break things down to rebuild them. I always compare Pluto to like the butterfly, the caterpillar's journey. The caterpillar can never imagine itself flying. And that's kind of what I do. I help people change their life so they can move forward. I'm an Aries rising. I'm a warrior. So I'm not gonna hold your hand. And I recognize those who are not ready to heal. And so I just move forward from there. But I'm ready to help people live up to their best selves. And I use all kinds of healing tools. So yes, the energy healing, the astrology of it, even yoga is major in the practice.
Yeah. So do you do that with your partner too?
I do.
I say partner because I'm just saying that for everybody who's watching. So,
well, I feel like I heal, transform, and attune everybody that I come in contact with. The closer, the more.
Oh, okay. Well, I did not know. I probably asked a very personal question. Forgive me. Okay. So in general.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a good idea for couples in general to maybe get into something together like Reiki? Instead of one doing it, maybe they both could do it together. It's something like it's a little time. First of all, they're doing more than one thing. They're not just doing Reiki for themselves. They're doing it for each other. And on top of it, they're spending time with each other. And then they can talk about it and they can learn together.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful for couples to heal each other's energy on so many different ways, because I think love is the best medicine. Like, love cures everything. It can just change everything. So if you got a couple that's healing together, sharing energy together, recognizing what the chart is saying, recognizing when the other person's aura is off. That way that's another form of communication. It's a higher level of communication when you can just feel your partner's energy and be like, okay, babe, what happened? Yeah.
And have you ever had couples like, because it's another question that we have from a viewer. They want to know, how do you help couples where one wants to change and the other person doesn't want to move forward? How can the couple move forward to heal when it's in that kind of situation?
It's about acceptance. Both people should accept the other person's journey. And it's a journey. And anytime you got two people, the journey can alter. Reasons and seasons type of thing. And I know that's rough when you're talking about a marriage, but it's the truth. It is the honest to God's truth that at some point in our life, we've reached a level of growth in the other person. They're cool where they are.
Right.
We have to respect that.
Right. How often has that happened?
It happens so much. It's especially like around Saturn returns, 29-30. I'm pretty sure around that age, your life shifted. You may have shed friends, families, loved ones, and some of the things that you were interested in, you're not interested in anymore. Like me, I wear so many hats. It's like, so there are people that were in my life from when I was in the military that are not in my life anymore. So that doesn't mean that I don't love them. That just means that leg of our journey is over. That we have different things that we're doing. I went into healthcare, and some of them went into fashion. Some of them are actors. Like some of my guys are on CSI Miami and stuff. So it's like we all chose different paths. That doesn't change the love.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. And is it like the certain time of the year where couples like they really get together? We call that mating season. How often do they come to your door saying, listen, something's not working?
Well, usually, you can tell that. There's a couple of placements in the chart that you can tell how sexually compatible two people will be. Like you can spot romance in the chart or just hardcore kink, whatever. You can spot it based off different connections. It's called synastry, and that's relationship astrology. So you can put two people together and you can really see how they're going to get it on.
How good and how fun.
Yeah.
So a quick question. Are you in a relationship now?
It's complicated.
Okay. Because I was going to say that kind of goes with it. So with being in a relationship, do you find it hard?
I'm 19 with my girl.
Do you find it hard to not focus on those things within a relationship? Like, do you try to just go with the flow, or do you base it a lot on how you feel about someone through astrology?
Oh, no, I don't base it off. Well, I kind of do, because it's certain signs. If I see a lot of energy in a certain sign, but I'll say it's because that energy is very, very, very intense.
Okay. I feel like I'm not really big on like astrology or anything, but I've always read auras, or like I can attract certain people, or people, a lot of people flock to me sometimes. And I always wonder, like with relationships and stuff, sometimes it's hard for me to, like, I wonder, are they just talking to me because I'm supposed to heal them? Because,
and that is, yes. And that is what I've come across now, especially when it comes to dealing with clients of the opposite sex. It's like, and it's not just the male clients either. You know, I'll do a reading and someone will be like, oh, you know me, I just did my job. You know, it's right. So it's kind of like when people see you, like really, really, really see you, and they understand you and they don't judge you, you feel a connection. And sometimes that connection can be mistaken for a level of intimacy that's really not there.
Oh my goodness. I say this all the time.
Her eyes got big.
You say that? Because I've never been able to have a male best friend, or like a male in my life, like a figure of a friend. It don't even got to be best friend, but like, because they always think like, I feel like everybody just absorbs my energy and they fall in love with me. And I'm like, I didn't even want to be in love with you. I just wanted to be cool. Like everything is super like fast tracked for me. And I get it because I'm an Aries, because I fast track my life. But then like when other people come around, I'm like, whoa, hold up. No, we're not doing this. We're not moving that fast. Like slow down. So it's like I'm at a constant, shift. I always wonder, like, are you just talking to me because, you know how they say like broken people attract broken people, or hurt people hurt people, like, you know, the little sayings and stuff. So it's like, are you just trying to figure out, because I'm a loving, caring person, are you using that for your benefit?
Some people miss,
and that's where I feel like astrology comes in a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's any healer, you know, like it happens big in the church. You know, the pastor's up there and he's giving a word, changing lives, and I'm healed. Oh, the pastor look kind of fly. It's the same thing. You know, people just, they fall for a healer. They fall for the person. Oh man, she saw me. I just did my job.
Yeah.
You know, even some people will be like, oh, remember when you said, I just did my job. You know, for me, those messages.
For me, it's not my job. So it's like, I just was being a person. I was being a human being.
That you were doing
nice, caring, good person.
That's your job. You were being a nice, caring person. And sometimes people don't get that. And when they get that kindness, when they get what they were looking for, when they get the answers that they were looking for, it's like, she gets me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get
we
lost.
got a lot of needy folk, right, ladies? There's a lot of there's a lot, and I don't know. I think the question a lot of people want to know is it like a generation thing where there are more needy males now versus before, because now the males are expecting a female to be mama and take the laundry and wash your dang underwear and
I don't know nothing about that.
Starch them things or cook and then but I'm doing all the work because I go to work and I do the I'm getting the money, and then you're like, well, what the heck you think I'm doing? I'm home, I'm cooking, I'm maintaining a household, I'm raising the children that you put in my bun. So what am I doing? I'm not doing anything. Oh well, woman, you this you let me breathe.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so that's not a generational thing, that's a tolerance and boundaries thing.
Oh, so now this is good. So that I hope everybody who's tuning in can listen to this. Okay, we got somebody saying she says, I'd love to know. Yeah, she says, great information. This is exciting. And then we have another one that says, yes, very well said. Okay, so we got good. All right, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much. Giving us these wonderful questions to ask Miss Wildflower. Very good.
Thank you.
Yes,
she said that was very well said.
Yes.
But no, there are Mama's Boys placements, Venus and the Moon, right there together. Mama's Boy placements. There's a couple of things that you can spot in the chart that can indicate that a man will want you to turn into his mama, literally, and so that works for some people. There are some people who really do like to caretake and all of that. Yeah. And so that goes back to incompatibility. If that's what you're looking for, I am not your girl. And that's okay.
Yeah, there's the narcissistic behaviors, whereas he wants you to support what he's doing, but you have to be like quiet and the cheerleader to the side.
We said that.
And then let's say your child is acting up, and now she's behaving like the father. And I'm not saying it's me. I just know the situation. This is not me. That when I get into detail, this is not me, y'all. I'll tell you. I'm just no. We'll talk about me later. But this, I'm just saying because we have some people over here that they want to know because they're about to be divorced, and they were in a marriage for years, and it did not work out, and they have a child together, and now they're having communication. The mother is having communication issues with the child, with the teen. And let's say the teen is around the age of 17 years of age. And now the mother, pushed the father out, not like push, like physically, but got the father out of the house. Now they're going to be, let's say in a case scenario that they're divorcing. And now the daughter is sort of just like, kind of, I guess, behaving like the father 2.0 is what some women would call it. They would call it 2.0. That's my ex 2.0. And now the mother is like, I'm lost. I don't even know what to do. And she literally says, I want to be loved. And he also said, I've heard that. It's sad.
She needs to start with herself. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of hurt there. She feels betrayed. She feels left out because the marriage didn't work, and now the child is acting like the opposite. She needs to start with herself. And a lot of us as parents, as young wives and all of this, we feel like we're supposed to throw 110% into our children. And then when this day comes, we lost. Like, who are we? I lost myself when the baby was 2. Right. I gave up on who I was when I found out I was with child and I said, I left me. But write yourself back to life, sweetie. Write yourself back to life. She need to sit with herself as opposed to chasing behind a 17-year-old who gonna do what she gonna do. Like co-parenting, they almost done. Refocus.
Yeah. It's almost that time.
Mm-hmm. Shoot, I have a 17-year-old. He's my last. It's all about me. It is all about me.
So
I loved
okay.
it. I gave them everything. She gave them everything. Now she need to give to her.
Okay.
Very true.
That's good. Everybody they say is still strong over here. And also a question is in today's society, there seems to be a number of women who are more focused on, from the ages 30 and up, that are more focused on their career and not settling down, getting married and having children from the ages of 30 and up. It seems like it's a thing, like it's the percentages are high now. And I said, well, if that's going to be brought up, you have to remember there's also two sides of the story. There's also the man. If you're talking about women and what they're focusing now, what do you think's driving them to focus on now? I mean, what you think? I mean, like you can't expect that woman that wants to focus on her career. If you want a man to, like if she's going to have a man, it's got to be a man. He can't be, expecting her to do all the work.
Well, I don't know what chauvinistic people around you, but no.
This is actually statistics today in society has been leveled that women from age 30 and up have been mostly focusing on their careers. And when I say up, I don't mean like past 40. I mean like from 30 to 40 years of age. They're mostly focused at this time for a career instead of settling down with a husband. And I say, well, how could you expect these women to settle down with a husband if the men that are in their cesspool are not what they need?
Right.
They might have to go move.
Well, I think women are choosing themselves as opposed to what society said. Oh, you're supposed to get married and have children. Women are being real with themselves and saying, but I don't even like kids. Or, it's nothing wrong with choosing yourself, giving you your best years, and then deciding later on. I mean, society may have, and that's what jacked me up. Oh, at this age, I need to be doing this. Okay, so I'm this age, I need to be doing that.
You can't focus on where other people are. Yeah.
It was the work.
But I love you ladies, and we definitely got to pick back up next time. It is our time for today.
Yes.
It was so great talking with both of you.
We could go for another episode.
Look, I'm not right. I need you back, ma'am. This was amazing. I definitely will be in contact. So when you see me pop through, just know.
Definitely.
Because I need all this. I appreciate you, Miss Rhonda Johnson, aka Wildflower. This is such a blessing to have you on our show and to speak with us. Just amazing energy all over.
Yes. And let everybody who's tuning in, watching us, know where they can find you and reach out to you, Miss Wildflower, for like relationship advice, Reiki healing, etc.
Okay, y'all can reach me on Facebook, Rhonda Johnson, be Wildflower in parentheses, Wildflower _ astrologer on Instagram, and Wildflower the Astrologer, or www.wildflowertheastrologer.com. Send me a message, send me a question, book a reading, and thank y'all so much for having me. This was so much fun. I really appreciate
it. It was so great. It was so great. Thank you so much. And as always, you can follow me at Deasia Marie on all social media. And please, if you want to be a female guest on our show, email us at herpointofview@aol.com. Your turn, ma'am.
Yeah. And then your fellow girl over here, Miss Lily the Goddess, you can reach out to me on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube as Lily the Goddess. Just type it in. It'll come right up. I love you. And you can also find some of my music and other stuff on SoundCloud and so forth. So remember, this is her point of view, but you can have men can watch too. You might learn something, men. So gentlemen, tune in. This is a platform so that we can share with you our point of view from a female perspective. But we want you gentlemen to also tune in so you can learn.
You might learn a lot. Thank you, Elizabeth and Miss Cinnamon Winfield. We really appreciate your support as well.
Yes.
See you all soon.
Yep. If you want to, did we ever say sponsor?
Of course. Sponsors.
Oh, we covered that good.
Her point of view at AOL.com if you want to be a sponsor or a guest. And please check us out on our social media as well. We are very happy to have you all here. And again, thank you, Miss Wildflower. It was amazing talking with you tonight.
It was so much fun. Thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you ladies today.
Yes, it was so fun. This was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I guess it just went off. My sister just called me.
Yeah. You must have ended the live, but we just didn't know.
Okay. It still says we live. Oh my goodness.
That's what I'm like. I'm still trying.
Like, okay, let's do this now.
Keep checking us out. I'm steady looking at this picture in your background. It really does match my outfit. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's like relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Very calming. Do you know the person that painted it, or is it just something you purchased?
It's a tapestry that I purchased. The wall hangings, and I just kind of strategically placed some around. I got the.
So it's like the material opposed to like a picture. Is it the?
It's like a cloth.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I was thinking. It's not a picture like a poster. That's nice. I could tell the difference. I told you I'd be sensing some stuff.
Yeah.
It still says we're in the show, so
yeah, it still says.
It was amazing.
Yeah, this was so much.
We gotta do a part 2. We gotta do a part 2 to this.
Yes, I keep saying that.
So that you can like dive in and help us.
Yeah,
they're tuning in.
It's empowering, to know who you are, to be able to see, and even I know some people's like, oh, you wouldn't date a certain sign. No, because I know myself well enough to know it's not just that, oh, they're too intense. I can't deliver that intensity to them.
Right. So I don't know what I can give you what you need. So I ain't even gonna try.
Exactly. That I'm not going to be able to deliver what you need, that reassurance, that emotional hugs and kiss. No.
I need
why
my
would I do that? Yeah. So it really does help, like, to not waste people's time, to respect people for who they are and
their boundaries
in the relationship. Yeah, like Mercury and Capricorn. It's okay.
I have so many Capricorns in my family too. It's not even my little baby sister. My baby sibling is a Capricorn, and oh my goodness, my best friend is a Capricorn too, though. So I'd be like, what did I do?
Well, one of my children is a Capricorn rising, and she is the most creative person I've ever met in life. She plays the guitar daily. She draws. She's such an amazing, outgoing person. And when I saw she was a Cap rising, I was like, what? But it really, and then I saw the reserved way that she presents herself. So, it just depends on where it falls. Yeah.
My little sister was born December 29th, and she's Capricorn is her sign. And she is like, we're night and day. She like, I love people. I have to be out, like, expressing myself and talking to people. She could care less about people. But she's like the most amazing artist I've ever seen.
Right.
She wrote a book when she was like 7.
Sweet. I'm not surprised.
And illustrated it. Like, this little girl has a book. It's not published, and we've been working on trying to get it, but she's so reserved that she don't even want us to do that. She don't want to sell her art, nothing.
She illustrated my book.
Oh my goodness, that is beautiful.
Yeah, and she was like 12, 13 when she drew that. So this was a dedication piece that she drew.
Oh, and they all about their detail.
Yes.
They about their detail.
Yeah. So just encourage her, and
that's amazing.
But just know, I would say never judge all signs. Oh, all Capricorns gonna do this, and all Aries.
Oh, yeah. Not at all.
Even me and my
Capricorn, and they're even totally opposite. So
gotcha. But even me and my twins chart, it only sets about 4 degrees apart, and we are so different. And it just it's super cool, when we saw that in ourselves, it just all the lights went.
Right. That's amazing. I love twins though. I've always said I want to have twins because I wish I had a twin because I always felt like it would be so great to just have someone to 24/7 talk to. Like,
well, now we get on each other's
you are
nerves.
me. You can't leave. You can't make me leave you alone because you are me.
No, I mean it's some coolness to being a twin, but at the same time, it's like they are expecting you to be like that person. You know, like your sister's this, so why aren't you that? Because I'm another person. You know, so it's a hard rap being a twin.
That is so true.
Yeah.
My best
And
friend
do
is
you
a twin,
get
so
along with
I'm
male
just wondering how she feels.
I guess I want to know if you get along with male Capricorns.
Yeah, my brother's a Capricorn.
Okay.
But and also because you know how like some people the compatibility may be good for like let's say business and it may be good for friendship, but it just wouldn't work for like romantic intimacy.
Right.
So
and I would date a Capricorn. Like if he got Capricorn in the first or in a fire sign, where is Saturn? You know, it's some things. It's some things. But like Mercury, you know, where's Mercury? I need to talk. So yeah. To be
from her point of view. Miss Wildflower. Thank you for joining us today, everybody. I say the management brought it.
Yes, it was so lovely speaking with you. Thank you so much again, Ms. Wildflower, Rhonda Johnson. We will see you all soon from Her Point of View Talk Show. Thank you. Bye, ladies.
Watch out, ladies. Get it.
That's a beautiful cover.
Thank you.
That is beautiful. Love and life lessons.
Yo, let me give it to you right. All night, no, we ain't never gonna stop. I ain't never had it like this before. No, gotta keep it together. Yeah, that's right. It's a real good, a sexual fight. Give it to you all night, right?
I'ma take you some love and sweet delicious taste. Only you, I'm so gifted. See the blood on her waist.
And I swear, him and his guitar player were trying to get me to the after party, but I said, I'm a good girl. I ain't gonna do that. I'm sorry.
She said, I know what's happening there. I'm gonna stay home.
You don't know what kind of stuff they gonna do. You know, I might have to whoop up some wind chum. That's on that.